Hey everyone, welcome to Faith Echoes. This is where I talk about everything manifestation and law of assumption related. So on today's video, I'll be talking to you about my emotional success story of how I manifested my hair growth using law of assumption. So if you're manifesting, anything to do with, physical appearance, then keep watching. I'm just going to tell you a bit about what I'll be covering today, the topics and stuff like that. So my backstory, how I actually did it, manifestation methods, stuff like that. And finally, the struggles I went through while manifesting my hair and how I overcame them as well. So let's begin. So first, my backstory. My hair, did start falling out while I was at school, when I was studying for exams, had a lot of pressure and stress. So as a result, my hair would fall out quite a lot, and it ruined my confidence a lot. So a few months later, I started attending a hair clinic for, laser treatment so I can grow my hair back thick and long. I was really desperate at the time, just to grow my hair. I tried everything, but it didn't work or didn't produce fast enough results as I wanted it to. Even my sister, she noticed how much it had an effect on me, my emotional state, my mental health. So she said, why don't you just manifest it? At the time, I thought it was impossible to manifest, something like that. I didn't think that manifestation went beyond logical things, like money and stuff, but not changing your whole appearance. So I thought it wouldn't work. But, because I was desperate, I started doing some in-depth research on the law of assumption, and my sister recommended me, what videos to watch, books to read. And I remember she even told me about a girl who had manifested her dream body weight, and she goes, you can apply this to manifest your hair growth. And I came across the exact method that helped me manifest my hair growth, and that's what we're going to be talking about next. So let's go. So here is how I actually manifested my hair growth using Neville Goddard's SATS method. If you're unsure what SATS is, I'll just explain real quickly. It stands for state akin to sleep. It's a very effective, powerful method that involves, you imagining yourself having your desire as you drift off to sleep, when you're in a sleepy state. It's done at night because your subconscious mind is the most powerful whilst you're asleep, and it kind of reprograms itself. If this is done consistently, what you have visualized will eventually show in your 3D, your reality. And this actually worked. I am living proof. It took me a month to manifest ultimate hair growth with this method, and I'll be telling you now about how I did it, the routine, and a few tips. So every night for at least 30 minutes before my bedtime, I'd lie down, get into a comfortable position, and start relaxing myself, calming down my thoughts, to get me into that sleepy state. So I counted to 100 while focusing on my breath, before I imagined. Then I'd imagine a scene that implied, that I had my desire, which was thick hair. I imagined my sister coming up to me and, touching my hair, telling me, wow, look at your hair, look how thick it's gone. It's grown a lot, it's so long. And I looped this exact same scene over and over until I eventually fell asleep. I did this consistently every night for 2 to 3 weeks until I started seeing results. Now, here are the very important tips which actually guaranteed my success with this method. So I did imagine from a first person perspective, and that is key when visualizing because you're imagining it's actually yours. So don't see yourself from a third person, out of body kind of perspective. And if you're struggling to make it as realistic as possible, utilize your five senses. So touch, feel, see, hear, and maybe even smell. The more realistic it is, the more you'll believe, it will be true and it will manifest if you believe that. And I wasn't just, visualizing, I did also affirm during the day, just to help keep myself on track. It wasn't every second of the day, it was just when I would, think about my hair or just look at my hair if I was looking in the mirror. And yeah, the affirmations actually made me feel good as I said them. The more I said them in my head, the more I believed them, hence they manifested. Here are some of my affirmations that I used. They were, I love my hair. Wow, my hair is so thick. I can't believe how thick and long my hair has gone. I stuck to these 2 to 3 affirmations and they generally worked. You don't have to say 2 to 3, you can literally, just say 1 and that will work perfectly as well. If you want to stick with one method, that's totally okay too. Whatever you believe will manifest. If you believe you need 2 methods, or if you believe you need 10 affirmations, then that's what you believe and it will manifest. But remember, you are in control and you create the rules. How I created my rules, so can you. Plus, it's not really about the method that matters. It's all to do with your belief, your faith, your persistence, that it will actually come and that it's yours. So here's the part that you've all been waiting for, the results of my hair after visualizing every night and affirming for 2 to 3 weeks. So let's go. So here was my hair before and here was my hair after. I at first couldn't believe that I actually did this. It was all me, all my imagination, and I was kind of scared in a good way. It felt like a magic spell, and the way it actually manifested, scared me again in a good way, which I'll tell you now. So I was getting ready to go out one day. I was just brushing my hair in the mirror, and one of my sisters just came in, looked at my hair and said, wow, look at your hair, it's grown so much. And she was just touching it from behind while I was looking in the mirror. And I was like, let me see. And I looked in the mirror and put my hair in front of me. It was very thick. It was even growing past my shoulders. I was as shocked as she was. I was like, yeah, you're right, it's grown so much. She was like, what have you been using? Any treatments, products? I was like, no. And I knew I didn't as well because I stopped attending my laser treatments 2 months before, and I stuck with my normal hair washing routine, which was twice a week. Even when my hair was falling out, I would always wash it twice a week too. I said, I stopped stressing, and I was just I've just been visualizing and saying a few affirmations in the day. And she was like, wow, look, you manifested this, now you can manifest anything. She was like, I told you it was possible. And she was right. It was my first ever success story with law of assumption. I felt unstoppable. I felt, okay, I can manifest anything. And I did manifest all the other things I wanted in other areas of my life by just applying the same teachings and techniques too. So for a few days, I couldn't stop looking at my hair, touching it, and believed I did this and it actually worked. I was really happy and relieved as well. And it was really emotional because I remembered myself like a few weeks before that. I was, crying because I did experience a few struggles along the way. At times, felt like giving up, but I still persisted, which I'll be talking about next, and just telling you how I overcame these struggles. So let's go. So I'm just going to tell you the struggles I faced while manifesting my hair and how I overcame them. These are also the same struggles a lot of my clients went through as well. So this may be the same as to what you're struggling with right now and what you probably need to hear. So first is the 3D, my reality. The 3D is a very big challenger. You just want to kill it. The first week I was visualizing and affirming, nothing changed. My hair was the same. It was so annoying and I felt like giving up. I was like, this seems impossible. Every time I looked in the mirror, I was affirming, but it still bothered me how my hair currently was. I was constantly obsessing over it, touching it while I affirmed, visualized as well. My reality was not changing. So I changed this by persisting. I was desperate. I had quit my laser treatment clinic before and I didn't want to go back there. Plus I was sick of trying treatments again and wasting my money. Then, I would go back to watch other success stories just to remind myself that, this is possible. Regarding appearance, I would watch appearance success stories, took their advice. They said the same thing, persist. I know you don't like your circumstances right now, but they will eventually change just as long as you change and, ignore what's happening in front of you. Basically, Delulu, Salulu, stay delusional. It sounded stupid at first to me, but I did try it for a day to see what happened. And, surprisingly, it did become easier. And this teaching is what I stick by today too. When I manifest anything else, I keep remembering that in my head, delusion, Salulu. Delusion is the solution. And yeah, so don't think that people just say that to be funny, Delulu is the Salulu, or persist, be delusional. It actually is a proven. It is a very, very, the most true teaching I've ever, came across. It is true, because Neville Goddard says, although an assumption at first, if it's false, if persisted in, will eventually harden into fact. And it was true. I persisted. I kept saying my hair was, long, thick, healthy, even though I didn't believe that at first. But over time, as I kept saying that, it did manifest, because over time I was expecting it to, eventually get thick and healthy like I was affirming. And it did, because I believed it, because I was expecting it. So yeah. Another thing I struggled with, which is a really common struggle, not just me that I've experienced, but even with my clients in my coaching sessions as well. It's if they're doing the method correctly. With my clients, SATS is quite a common method that they talk about, and most people do struggle with it, and I do admit that I did at first. They couldn't picture themselves with their desired appearance or focus on themselves in a first person point of view. This was a problem for me too, and it limited me in my belief. I thought that, oh my God, my desire won't work now. If I'm not doing the method right, it won't work. And yeah, so bear in mind, I was still affirming. I had no problem with affirming. It's obviously very easy for me. But for the first week, visualization was a huge problem. I couldn't focus on my seam. I kept changing the scene as well, because I didn't feel that the scene was realistic or good enough to manifest. Even the next day, I would wake up, I would be so angry at myself or frustrated at the night before because I hadn't used the same scene. I kept changing it again and again. So I thought, it won't work now. You've just wasted it all. You need to start again. So, I was so fed up. I just said to myself, enough is enough. I'm just going to stick to one scene. I don't even care. Like, if I don't like the scene I'm imagining, or if it doesn't feel realistic, I'll just do it. Then I stuck with it. It didn't feel realistic at the time, but it did come true, what I imagined. And that's actually really funny as well, because it's just like the universe saying, believe in yourself more. The method isn't the solution, it's just a tool at the end of the day. It doesn't really matter what method you do, it's only about your belief, your faith. So the method is, I'd say, 1% and your faith is 99%. I know that sounds like a really rubbish way of putting it, but it is really all that matters. And I also focus too much on perfection over analysing of my sats, then just had enough. Then the scene that I thought wasn't realistic enough but still stuck and persisted with, it actually became a reality, and I'm living proof of that. So if you have a scene that you're fed up with, if you don't like it, just stick with it. Honestly, just stick with it, and you'll see, why I'm saying that, because I'm living proof that what you don't like or will eventually come true. So thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope it helped you and gave you whatever you needed to hear, regarding your manifestation. Not to give up, but persist. Keep going. Keep the faith. Also, comment down below on what topics or any videos you would like me to talk about next in my future videos. And if you're interested in my coaching services, I will be linking them in the description below, as well as my manifestation guide to manifest everything and anything you want. I also have linked the TikTok and Instagram for Faith Echoes. I do post there every day, so stay updated for when our next YouTube video will be. I just post in general manifestation related content as well. And yeah, thanks for watching. Keep the faith, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.